So bear with me, I'm reading from a script because that seems to be the best thing for me to stay on tack. So welcome to Wild Women, Wise Women, and Witches, and I hope you do check out the new channel on YouTube. My name is Rose, and I run the Temple of Mott in Knoxville. I have an extensive background in ceremonial magic, witchcraft, and comparative religious studies. I also teach a system of holistic magic in public classes, and also to a small coven called Priesthood of the Sacred Earth. So much of what I will be sharing on this channel will be based in my own personal work in spiritual alchemy, which includes both ritualistic elements as well as ecstatic. So if you check on Instagram for the hashtag Restoring the Goddess, you will find the beginnings of this journey. It has been one that has challenged the current paradigms in modern hermetic magical practice and has directed my path to facilitate spiritual spaces for women seeking to restore their inner goddess to a place of prominence and health, and from the perspective of a female witch and ceremonial magician. What began as a journey to embody the goddess more fully in all aspects of my life has developed into a mature spiritual journey that re-examines the scope of my spiritual experience, including what I define as good and evil, healthy and unhealthy, natural and unnatural. Those are the types of experiences I will be sharing, as well as the personal rituals, both ceremonial and ecstatic, that can allow women to more fully embrace their wild woman, wise woman, and witch voices. So, how did this particular name come about? Well, this journey has allowed me to meet and befriend many amazing women, and one consistent complaint that I heard was in regard to the threefold goddess as maiden, mother, and crone. Now, while there's absolutely nothing wrong with this threefold representation of the great goddess, it is a modern invention perpetuated by folklorist Robert Graves. It was this coining of a mythic motif that became a staple in modern Wicca, and many witches use these terms for the threefold goddess. One of my first books on this path was the Barbara Walker book, Maiden, Mother, and Crone, and it profoundly changed my perspective and was one of the early steps to reclaiming my own feminine power. However, not all women choose to be mothers, and not all traits embodied by the feminine or the anima, female soul, which can be heightened at certain times in our life, are traits that we carry with us as women from the moment of our birth. So I began to reevaluate the stages of life represented by maiden, mother, and crone. And I'm going to read that again just for clarity. So, however, not all women choose to be mothers, and all the traits embodied by the feminine or anima, while heightened at certain times in our lives, are traits we carry with us as women from the moment of our birth. So I began to reevaluate the stages of life represented by maiden, mother, and crone. I wanted to use and choose nomenclature that exalted the emerging wild goddess in the collective consciousness and reclaimed the crone as the wise woman. The maiden became the wild woman, the wild child, rebellious and free, whose connection to the holy wild, as Danielle Dusky refers to it, is strong and innate, untouched and unhindered. She is the rebel who wants nothing more than to tear down the walls that keep her from achieving her full potential, the authentic self. She cannot be contained, tamed, and nor should she be. Instead of mother, I chose witch as the archetype of the authentic woman, following her path, tending and caring to her beloveds, and integrating the divine earth energies both in spiritual practice and daily life. The witch is any empowered woman, rebelling against the enforced norms of a very dysfunctional society. She is the one who seeks the healing road as she continues to shed the weight of all these patriarchal expectations. She's the challenger, the warrior, the guardian, and so much more. She is in all of us as the voice of the earth, speaking to us constantly as we go closer to the plants and stones, rocks and bones. Was it not just a mere 100 years ago that many of our mothers, aunts, female ancestors were hands to the dirt, fingers to the thread, heart to the land? We stand on the shoulders of our sisters and mothers who have come before us, and the witch is the embodiment of this continuous thread of life. And with this thread comes the crone, the wise woman, the seer, the medicine woman, she who sees without eyes all the places life is. Crone has become a pejorative term in a patriarchal world, conjuring some bitter old maid who knows too much and relishes in usurping traditional male roles. If we are bitter, it is from bitter root. And with that bitterness, the wise woman knows how to create the potions of healing and power, protection and peace. She is the harbinger of destruction of all non-life affirming paradigms and cultural restrictions. In a world dominated by her oppressor, she is terrifying, the hag, the biddy. As I move into my crone years, I embrace my role as a supporter, a guide, a teacher to those who are not so far on this path of self-discovery. And within me, I still carry the wild woman. As a young woman, I may have often been screaming into the void as I rebelled against cultural norms, accepted standards, and a very Puritan ethic. But as a crone, my intentions are well-directed, empowered, and wisely constructed. As a mother and a witch, a nurturer, protector, a builder of community and culture, I continue to invest in healthy connections that create safe spaces for everyone. And I listen. As you get older, you actually have a lot more time to do that. So I listen to today's wild women and the new paths of power that they are creating. And I'm content to share what I've learned along the way as I continue to nurture the new seeds planted by the next generation of amazing wild women, wise women, and witches. Most of the ritual material does come directly from my alchemical practice of uniting the spectrum of experience within me, from the active to the receptive, the ebb to the flow, the light to the darkness, and yes, the feminine to the masculine. As a survivor, I had a lot of healing to do from trauma, and this path saved me. I have many rites of empowerment and many rites developed during shadow and healing work. With an extensive background in ceremonial magic, I have often played heretic and restructured traditional rituals to create a more holistic and healthier outcome. Once you start peeling away the layers of intrinsic patriarchal orientation in most modern rites, the act alone of restructuring that rite can be a healing experience in and of itself. So expect full moon postings on the magical and spiritual energies. I will try to do that monthly, and they will mostly be videos about how you can use that energy and take advantage of those energies in your personal work. And the divine feminine is a distinct current of life. And in the Temple of Mott, we refer to it as the presence and the masculine as the essence, or the receptive intelligence and the active intelligence, respectively. The work as we move forward is to elevate these non-gender binaries to not just become more inclusive, but to grow. This world is so much bigger than limited views allow you. So keep questing and keep growing. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions, would like to learn more about Wild Women, Wise Women, and Witches, you can email me at wildwomen, and witches, all one long string, at gmail.com. Again, my name is Rose. I hope you can join me for the upcoming class on the Great Goddess, where we dig in a little bit deeper into the archetypes of the Wild Woman, Wise Woman, and Witch. But for now, I just welcome you for being here. I hope you can step into this space I've created for community and connect with one another as we go through these phases of life, whether we are the Wild Woman, Wise Woman, Witch, all three. God is blessed.